Hello, Josh. I'm so excited to have you as one of the founding fathers of the Dad Network. So, I would love to share more about you and the work that you do and how much impact you have in this space. First and foremost, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Dad Doula University?
Yes, ma'am. Joshua Liston-Zawadi. I'm locally and internationally known as the Dad Doula, a program made to help men navigate all things pregnancy from prenatal all the way to postpartum. I am a full spectrum trained doula, trained to help moms and birthing people in that space, but realize that my gift or my calling is to help navigate with non-birthing people to make sure that we utilize our voices, our privileges, our patriarchy as tools to make sure birthing people don't die or we lose birthing people in this process. So that's what Dad Doula University is, and I'm just so happy to be the facilitator and the originator of the idea.
Amazing. And can you tell us, are you localized or national or international? If there's fathers out there listening from all over, who can come to you and take your program?
That's an amazing question. Unfortunately for you all, I'm everywhere. I'm international. I have a dad in Canada right now who we just finished up his Dad Doula course. It doesn't matter where you are, I'm where you are. And so
Amazing.
wherever you are, we can do this work together.
Great. And, just a little bit of background. I know your story. I know it's an amazing one, but what really propelled you into this work?
So, Army vet, served 10 and a half years in the Army as a surgical tech, which is where I learned my medical terminology, my medical understanding as a GYN surgical tech. Got out, retired out, and went on my way to do other odd jobs here and there until it was time to get married and have my own family. I married my now wife, who already had two children, but we got into a pregnancy with baby Love, who's now 5 years old. And with baby Love, she was a baby born in a very odd time with COVID. And so I wasn't allowed in doctor's offices. I wasn't allowed to see the sonogram machine. I wasn't allowed to do anything. I had to FaceTime my wife from the parking lot because I took her to every appointment, even though they wouldn't let me in. And so with COVID, we decided that it was time to choose a different route for birth because my wife was petrified of the hospital. At this time, as I said, I was a surgical tech, so I was in our second largest hospital in Milwaukee doing surgeries every day. And when COVID hit, we stopped doing surgeries and became COVID watchers. And so the surgical suite turned into COVID overflow. And so we weren't doing surgery, we were watching people die every day. And I would come home with these horror stories of, yeah, I watched 5 people die today. And she's like, Josh, I'm not going to a hospital. You got to figure something else out. Okay, so I did some research and figured out that home birth is a option because I own my home and I know doulas and midwives who I'm in community with already. Signed up. The state of Wisconsin has a birth fund, which made my birth completely free. Had our baby, but the dad doula came because the midwife and doula's job was my wife, not me. And so as they're coming to the house to talk to her and coach her and mentor her, I'm being ignored. Not intentionally because I'm in community, but because their job is her, not me. And so one day I did a search. I went online, tried to find how to be a daddy for dummy books and all the things to help prepare me for this process and found nothing. I came home defeated, and it just so happened to be one of her appointments where the midwife and the doula were in there laughing and crying with her and all the things because this is her first baby she had without her mother. And so I walk in defeated, and they could feel my energy. So I removed myself from the space because I didn't want to toxify what they were doing. The midwife and doula, Kate, Josh, what's going on? I feel you. Talk to me. I said, nah, I'd rather not ruin the moment y'all just had. It was so beautiful. I don't want to trample on that with my issues. We're good. No, Josh, talk to us. What's going on? I said, it's weird to me that there's so many resources for my wife, but no resources to prepare me to what happens when you all are no longer here. You all are great resources for the process. You all are not the resource when the process ends. I have to know what to do.
Yeah.
And they just looked at me and said, so then you have to build it. I said, build what? What are you talking about? You need to build that for men. Because if you found that issue, you are also called for the solution. So that's when Dad Doula began. I started my doula training that day, signed up for doula courses and became a doula. I wasn't certified yet. I didn't get certified until like 2 years later, but got my doula training so that I could understand the woman's body, understand birthing people, understand what goes on, because as men, we have no idea.
Right. Well,
And
most
then once,
women nowadays don't even know their own anatomy, let alone having their partner understand.
yes,
Ugh, again, I've heard that story so many times, but it doesn't get old. It still lights a fire in me every single time because I just look at like my husband, I'm a mom of four, and he was a great bystander
hmm
throughout all of it. And luckily I had the support system and I had the village and I had and he
hmm
was able to be that observer and just enjoy the moments. But I know so many people where that partner is the only support that that woman has. And if they're clueless and don't have the luxury to just be a bystander because of the doula and because of the, postpartum support and everything that luckily, again, I enlisted in, what is happening, right, to the
right,
entire family? So thank you for answering that call,
not a
right?
problem.
So needed. I think it's still, from your perspective, right? There's so many resources for moms and birthing people, but in our echo chamber, it may seem that way. And then stepping out to it every day, I hear, I just listened to my doctor. I didn't know this existed. I didn't know pelvic floor
hmm
therapy existed. I don't know PMATs existed. I didn't know doulas existed. I didn't know midwives existed, right? Like
hmm
very foundational support systems are highly overlooked and like not being taught. So
yes.
thank you for what you're doing. And how can people learn more about the Dad Doula program? How can they reach you? Tell us how to find Josh.
Easiest way is social media. Dad Doula University on Instagram and Facebook, or Melanated Daddy on Facebook and Instagram. The website is Dad Doula University. You can go there, add your name to the book, and send me a message. I monitor all of this 24/7. Feel free to talk to me. I talk back. I do all the things because I feel that the hardest thing to rebuild is a man who was dropped. And so I don't allow any man who comes to me to be dropped. If you come to me, I now have an obligation to support you. And if it can't be me, I got to send you to who is the one to do it, right? I thank God I have a network of other brothers and men, non-birthing people who do this work alongside me. Shout out to the illustrious Ron Irby. He's also on this. If you not, I'm telling you, if you're not coming to this, y'all missing a wealth of gems. But regardless, if you at this table, that means you're here for a reason. We have a power pack line of brothers that just support each other, and I'm one of many brothers. I think it's 12 of us now across the country who have recognized that we have to be the ones to educate ourselves because women are already doing so much work and just birthing baby.
Yeah.
Men, listen to me. The last thing I'm gonna say before I shut up: a woman having birth or being pregnant is 40 hours of work by itself a day. Being pregnant is working a full-time job every day. She has put in 40 hours of work just growing a baby, and then she gotta go to work and cook for you and feed these other kids if she got other kids and put on a dress so you still think she's sexy and yeah. I wouldn't want to be a woman with all like understand the amount of labor that's already going in before they even clock into a job. That's just being pregnant. So if anybody's going to educate men, it's going to have to come from us. We cannot task them with that chore. They have enough work they're doing already. So tap in, daddoulauniversity.com, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Joshua, Liston-Zawadi. I'm everywhere. Wherever you need me, you find me. Let's talk.
And in the booth, there's a link on the main space so you can find him directly there. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you so much.